Hello, Ron Bashar here. So I do have another game suggestion for you. It's Torchlight Infinite. I have been playing it on stream for a few days. And before anyone asks, it's not sponsored. No, I have been just playing it myself. So, why do I feel the need to answer that question? It's a bit of a gacha game, right? And there is, money involved. Uh, Pay to win features, I think, exist. Uh, yeah, that's not a really very hard recommendation, is it? Uh, so one of the biggest downsides is that the character talks like this. Shut up, please, darling. Okay, thank you. I'm talking here. Yeah, she does talk, right? I mean, when I say she, all the characters keep talking like this. It's pretty annoying. I haven't found a way to, turn it off. So it is quite a lot like Path of Exile, but it does have some things that's going for it. So one of the biggest things, and this is not really part of an intro, but we do have this nice dummy here, right? And you can ask the lady to bring up any amount of any level of dummies, and you can go hit it, and yeah, so you can just test your damage, so you are not subject to you know you are not subject to the game's horrible uh, damage mechanics. So take a look at this. It says I have 40.8 million damage and I just had 2.3 billion DPS on that dummy. I can actually go up to like 3 billion. So you have a tangible measure of your character's strength, because there are a lot of in combat procs, and they make a difference. And what's more, another extremely good feature is that you go here, right? You go pro builds, right? You go quick builds, and you can find builds for your character. As you can see, I am using one right now. And when you go there and when you say apply, right, or unapply, okay, when you say apply, it's going to give you the whole deal. And when I say the whole deal, this is not like other games. It's the literal whole deal. Take a look at this. It gives you all the skills, right? And as I said, it's a little bit like Path of Exile. There are links to the skills, so it shows you the whole package, right? I mean, so in this one we have 5 supports, in this one we have 2 supports, in this one we have 4 supports, and it shows you all. It shows you all the supports. These are the passives. I don't want to go too much in depth here. It could, a little overwhelm. We have these are the pets. You can have 3 regular pets, and you can have 3 drop pets. The drop pets increase the quality and amount of the loot that you get. The regular pets actually make a real large difference. Take a look at this one, for example, right? I mean, it does in-game stuff. Gives you movement speed, gives you resistance, etc., right? There are all kinds. So shows the pets. There is a feature called hero traits, right? Shows them as well. Shows the talent trees. This is something else. This is unique to this game. You have, you fill it with Tetris pieces most of the time, and they provide you bonuses. That's the gear, right? The stats are also displayed here as well, so you can, compare resistances and whatnot. It's really, really, beautiful. That's one of the things I like. One of the things I don't like is that the game does not really explain a lot of stuff. And if you can take a look at my screen right now, you'll see a million vendors here, each with different mechanics. So they have been, doing it Path of Exile 1 style. As season ends, it gets incorporated into the game on a lesser scale. And I believe this is season 12 or something, so there are a lot of mechanics which are not explained at all, right? That stuff is confusing. So, it does take time to solve what's going on most of the time. I'm still, going right. I think this is day 5 or 6 for me. I played it last season, and, then the season ended. So my recommendation comes a little bit ill-timed. I know Diablo 4 is coming, but this is a nice game, right? I like it, and it can be a nice palate cleanser. So, I don't think it can really compare to Diablo 4 or Path of Exile 2, but as you know, those games, die every once and then. So we are getting an expansion on Diablo 4. It's gonna be hot like 1 or maybe 2 months, new expansion. Then, at the end of May, we will be having Path of Exile. That would be hot for 1 or 2 months as well. And then, it could be, Path of Exile's time, Torchlight Infinite's time to shine when, you had your fill of both games. There is Diablo 3, there is Torchlight Infinite. These are not bad games, I like them. And, seeing the progress is very nice. So, for example, guys, yesterday's stream, I started off at 150 million. And as you just saw, I'm on 3 billion now. It does go up and up and up, right? It does have a nice crafting system once you get to understand it. For example, this kind of wand, you can just craft it from scratch. The currency for the game is called Flame Elementium. If we go by Path of Exile terms, it's gonna be somewhere between a Chaos and a Divine, right? So it's not like Path of Exile's Divine. They are not that rare, and the prices can reach, really high amounts. Yeah, I guess Chaos is more appropriate for it. At the end game, you have a nice campaign that lasts, depends on which build you're going for, but it's gonna last you some hours at the very least, and then you unlock the end game. Let me just show you. Okay, so there are world tiers like this called time marks, and you just keep climbing them. And the way that you climb is a little bit interesting. There are these areas. You go to these areas, and so there are the regular maps. And once you complete a certain amount of regular maps, you can engage the boss. And when you engage the boss, and kill it, and you do this for all the areas. So let me go just back to time mark 1. Okay. So as you can see, I have one area here. I go to this area, right? I fight this a few times. That's 2 is a little bit low. Normally it starts off with like 4. So you do 4 maps here, engage the boss, and then that will allow you to unlock world tier 2, and it so on, right? It does get slower later on. So I'm at 8-0 or 8-1, somewhere there. I can handle 8-0 or something. So my damage is fine, but my survivability is low. The game is pretty fast paced. Hopefully I will not die in here. Let me try to show you. Okay, I'm not gonna go into detail. Okay, don't show. Yeah, as you can see, I'm a little bit too squishy. So the build, there are a lot of buttons here, but it's, just like Path of Exile style, it's just one button, right, or 2 buttons. I have the blink, as you can see, or, something that's similar. I have the blink, and I have my main damage skill, and the other stuff cast themselves. Okay, so this is the seasonal mechanic. I activate these statues and die. Yep. I didn't even understand what went on there. Okay. Maybe. So I'm playing something, it's not exactly the same, but I'm playing something like, the Chaos Inoculation build from Path of Exile. As you can see, my life is not 1, but it's reserved, as you can see. And by the way, I picked something that allows me to die not more than once in a map. So if I die, I'm gonna get kicked out of the map. The maps are pretty expensive. There is actually a whole map farm. You can. So the tons and tons of mechanics that exist, make it nice for you to to go anything that you want. You can go for either of the things, right? We have a whole atlas tree. You can spec it the way you want. Yeah. So hopefully I will not die once more. And the worst part is I didn't even understand what went on there, right? yeah. So we have tablets in the game. The Path of Exile's 2 tablets. They are called compasses, but instead of being able to be used 10 times, they are only used once. By the way, shortly after I died, I got myself some flame elementum, as you saw, and we got like 5 drops. Same time, okay, that is gonna be very dangerous. Yeah. So my survivability lacking is a problem. As you can see, the damage is not fine. Okay, so that's the map boss. Yeah. And drop the flame. Okay. So that is very silly, but I actually could have died there. My mistake, still making the same mistake. I'm loot hungry. I'm going after the loot. And the guy's move that happened there actually damages you. Yeah. So my resistances are a little bit bad. That's a problem. So we have the classic 3 elemental stuff, and on top we also have erosion. That's the 4th element in here. And the resistances are actually contrary to most ARPG culture is only 3. Sorry, it's only 60. You can have 60 resistances. Okay. So these seasonal fellas are pretty lucrative. Yeah. When you die at the beginning, you don't lose any XP at all. There is no weapon durability. There are no durability for the items. There are no gear equipment requirements. And every skill will tell you what they scale off, right? So this skill is pretty nice. I like it. This season's hot skill is called Chromatic Shot, and it scales off strength, dexterity, and intelligence, and also cold, fire, and lightning. So you get anything that boosts any of them, right? And it increases your damage. And because we are a single skill build, so for example, I'm going for attributes, right? Strength, dexterity, and intelligence. It doesn't really matter what I get, right? Normally, guys, I'm a caster and I would want intelligence, right? Nope, not for this build because it's a single skill and it scales off everything, right? I do not have to specifically search for fire skills, cold skills, or lightning skills because any of them work. So I can just get about anything. So yeah, normally at this point I would start to bombard you guys with Torchlight Infinite videos, which I really would like to. However, Diablo 4 is coming. It's in a few days. Maybe I can do that later. But if you are interested, join me on the stream and we can take a look. You can take a look at the game. You can take a look at how it goes. But there is a lot to work out, and you are not being guided through those, right? I just had to learn little by little, and I still am not fully on top of everything. So yeah, if you like this, play it. As I said, there are pay-to-win factors. So there is the auction house, and as a pleb, you have like 7 or something auction house slots. And okay, so we did sell some stuff. Nice. Okay, good. So yeah, how many does that? 9. I have 9 slots to sell stuff. And the scumbag part of it is you can get another, but it works for the season only. So there is no permanent way of generating more auction house slots. I think there is for the inventory, right? There is for the stash. I think those are permanent. However, the auction house one is not permanent. And also, guys, there is a hefty 12.5% commission or 1 in 8 commission from the auction house. That's pretty, so makes flipping hard, right? So for example, if you buy something for 10 and sell it for 15, I don't know, or let's say 16, if you buy it for 10 and sell it for 16, your profit is 4, right? Because the game is going to take away 2 from you, right? So, small profit margin flips are not advised. So for example, if you buy something at 10 and sell for 12, that's not going to be very nice, right? You are barely going to profit by, 1. And if you consider about rounding down to dodge, nope. Whenever you obtain currency, every 8 currency that you obtain, the game takes away 1, right? So you cannot just sell stuff for 7 continuously and dodge it. The moment that you get the 8, it will take away 1. You can dodge it at the beginning a little bit, but once you get to the end game, there is just no dodging it. And finally, guys, if you are curious about my progress, I would say, I'm not still very certain of it, but I think I would say I'm into the late game, not end game. The end game is much higher. So I'm dealing about 3 billion damage now, and people are doing about 1,000 times more than I do. Yeah, really. There are builds with trillion damage, but the game scales and scales and scales. The true end game becomes when you hit World Tier 8. World Tier 5 is another important remark because important milestone, because you start getting Flame Elementium, the main currency of the game, right? This does not drop on lower than 5. So you have to get to 5 as quickly as possible, all the while slowly updating your gear and whatnot. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll see you on stream. Bye-bye.